American Metal Reviews.
Destiny,
The beta.
the hype is real.
The hype
is
definitely real.
Yeah, the Destiny beta started on PlayStation systems, later coming to Xbox systems. So we're here to give our quick impressions on this game. We have played the living shit out of this game since the beta launched on Thursday. So we got a lot to say, and yeah. So let's start with just how this game plays. We'll dive into classes later, so don't talk about class specific shit. Talk about how it plays.
I like it's familiar yet it's kind of fresh at the same time. Is what I really like about it. Is that it plays kind of like Halo, but then different enough that I don't know. I really just like how the controls make sense. But the only thing that I have difficulty with is sometimes I forget that the options button is to pull up your stuff to bring out your different guns. But then other than that, like, everything just feels so fluid and natural. I just always hit the right buttons. I just like it a lot.
It feels very smooth, and I feel right at home in this game.
All right.
Yeah, I mean that's really all I can say is I feel right at home.
Yeah,
this is what I've wanted for a very long time.
This game plays very smooth. If someone said this game looks like it plays like Halo and or Borderlands, I would say no. Like, yeah, it does. If you slap the two together, this is what it is.
It's that video you showed earlier of the guy merging GTA 5 and.
Yeah,
it's Halo and Borderlands and Mass Effect, and
it's like Halo, Borderlands, Mass Effect, a little bit of Dark Souls, and World of Warcraft all coming together, and that's Destiny. But yeah, this game plays extremely smooth. It plays like Borderlands, though, and it has that feel of Halo, but then it feels completely different at the same time. So when I say that, don't get turned off if you didn't like those games or like, oh, it's just a clone. It's not. You have to play it in order to really understand what it's like, and it plays extremely smooth. Like, this is a beta, and I've had connection problems like hardcore, but I haven't had any frame rate problems. Nope. The frame rate is buttery smooth.
I have had no texture pop-ins.
Absolutely no texture pop-ins. I've never thought of that, but that is completely true.
But the only thing was that one time when the names were getting all glitchy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, or the one time
or the few times you and I were appearing invisible to each other.
Yeah, like we were dancing, but we couldn't see each other dancing.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's perfect.
Yeah, I agree with that.
This game is gorgeous to look at.
Oh my god.
I don't think I've taken
This is the reason why there's a screenshot button on the PS4.
Yeah.
This game is the reason.
Even just doing stupid shit.
How many times have we been at the tower and we just sit down and stare up at the Traveler and out into the city below? It's just like
at least once,
absolutely gorgeous.
At least every other time we go to the tower.
And the amount of detail in such a huge game is just absolutely ridiculous. Like, it's almost unnecessary, but it's great. Or the lighting effects. The lighting does a fantastic job of really setting an atmosphere in this game. There's a couple missions where you walk through, these areas, and they're very dimly lit and it's dark.
And if there's any light at all.
Yeah, and it's just fantastic. Yeah, this game is gorgeous.
You will become afraid of the dark.
Yeah.
Do not go underground.
Fear of the dark.
Do not ever go underground unless you are supposed to go underground for your mission.
Don't do it.
Yeah, don't be like me. I'm like, I want to see what's down here.
Let's go downstairs.
Level 18 Hollowed Knight down there, and the game caps you, or the beta caps you at 8. So it's just like, and I was level 2.
Yeah, you and I just went in and
we should try to get a bunch of people in game and actually.
I still don't even think we'd be able to do it, but
try.
Yeah,
dude, we can only max out of the fire team of 3. There's no way.
Yeah. So, what do you guys think of the classes? There's 3 classes in this game, and I guess we can all talk about the one that we played the most.
Yeah.
So we've all played. There's the Titan, which is kind of your tank. There's the hunter, which I don't know.
Kind of your
range.
ranged
Slash stealth.
Yeah.
ranged DPS stealth
Yeah.
roguelike character.
And then there's the warlock. I don't know. Warlock's
Your
kind of
caster.
good of everything.
Kind of your
Mage-ish.
mage-ish.
Yeah.
Kind of more to control how battle
Yeah.
flows.
So I played a lot of the Warlock, and I think the Warlock is incredible. I think he's very well balanced. The only problem that I hate about this class is that there's no. The other two classes have some form of double jump, while the Warlock has a glide ability, which I find most of the time to be useless, and I can never get it to work right. Like I can never glide to where I want to glide to. So that's the only problem with that. I hope that they tweak the glide a little bit, or at least to make it easier, because there'll be like a rock, and the rock isn't really that high, but it's not high enough for me to just jump once, whereas, Keith and Luke just double jump and boom, they're up there. I'm like struggling to get up this rock, and it kind of sucks. I have to like whip out some hardcore platforming just to get up a fucking 6-foot rock. It's like, bro, what the hell? Other than that, I really like the super ability, which is kind of like your mega, fuck shit up type of ability. Yeah, he just pulls back and throws this big ass void bomb type thing at him, lightning bolt, whatever you want to call it, and just blows shit up, and it is so satisfying. The Warlock is a very good class. I thoroughly enjoy it.
I played the Titan the most. The Titan is your tank up in everybody's face, fuck shit up kind of guy. I mean, all of his abilities are like for up close shit. Like his special is basically a ground pound, where you jump into the air and you smash both hands on the ground, and it'll cause a shockwave that it will kill, if not severely damage everything in its radius. And like, all my armor that like, especially the Titan specific armor that I'm finding is like really, really high like armor rating. So because I got to be in there, and I mean his melee, he doesn't even have a ranged melee. He just has a right hook. That's it to hit people with. So you don't.
Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that. The Warlock's melee is awesome.
It's like a force push.
It is. Yeah, it's like a force push, and it drains everybody's energy, so they just die and like go away.
Yeah.
It's awesome. Anyways.
Yeah. I've spent the most time as the hunter. The one thing I wish you could have done with the classes is use the other subclass, and done a little bit of messing around with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But at least the subclass you could use now, it's mainly built towards this gunslinger golden gun ability, which is basically this flaming revolver that does a stupid amount of damage.
And has 3 shots.
Only has 3 shots. I wish it had a little bit better accuracy, at least from distance.
Yeah.
Other than that, I like sniping. It's very satisfying.
Yeah, like the weapons are really cool in this game, and you constantly find new gear and weapons. Not as much as Borderlands, like it's not as gun porn.
It's not gun porn.
Like that. But, you do get quality gear upgrading. It's pretty cool. I just like the classes. Like, scout rifles are really fun to use. Auto rifles are fun to use. Fusion rifles just fucking wreck, especially in the Crucible multiplayer. If you can hit them right. And then my personal favorite are the pulse rifles, which are kind of your
A burst fire.
Kind of your semi-auto burst fire weapons. So
I really like that. There's not like the huge disparity. Whereas like in Borderlands, there's a huge disparity between classes. Like you kind of have to use this kind of weapon if you're gonna be this kind of class and use it effectively.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas I could rock a sniper rifle as a Titan, and that's perfectly fine.
That's a good point.
My personal favorite weapon is I do really like pulse rifles. For whatever reason, I can't find them as my Titan. Like the one that I'm using is the only one that I found. But like, I like that. I like using shotguns and hand cannons. If you could get a good like headshot, hand cannon will fuck everything up. So.
Yeah, speaking of like your inability to find a pulse rifle on that particular character, there is a system called the Vault, which basically functions like Borderlands 2's Claptrap's Secret Stash.
Yep.
which is like a storage device
Between
to
characters.
transport gear between characters. So hey, maybe you don't want this gun for this character, but your warlock or whatever could make good use of it. You can put it in the
Yeah.
vault, jump on your warlock, pick it up, and off you go.
That's a really cool feature. Yeah, I'm glad they have.
I mean,
that
it's
in there.
nothing new, but it is nice.
Yeah.
You can't trade between
But here's the
players, though.
thing: all the MMOs I've played up until now, you have not been able to do that.
Oh, okay.
Like
Well,
in
that's
WoW, basically you had to
Wow.
get on in World of Warcraft.
Yeah.
You had to get on, trade your items to a friend,
And they
get
jump the other
off.
character.
get back on with the other character, have them trade it, boom, then get back on.
Yeah. So the main hub of the world is kind of the tower, and at the tower is where you can buy ammo. You know,
Upgrade
what else?
your gear,
Yeah, you can get bounties.
train.
Yeah, all that cool stuff, and that's where the MMO part of this game kind of comes in that at the tower there's just going to be a bunch of people running around in there,
Yeah.
and then you can just have a big dancing party and dance around one guy like what happened to us. There was like 7 people dancing around one guy in a circle, which is cool. But that's kind of where you do that. I love the tower. I find myself spending way too much time at the tower, but it is it's just a very cool kind of hub place to go back to.
The Crucible.
Crucible.
Yeah, we can dive into the Crucible. Yeah, so the Crucible is the PvE or PvP, sorry, place. It is the multiplayer,
Yeah.
place. So if you just want to play some multiplayer with friends, there it is. I think that I love the multiplayer in this game. It feels like Halo, but it's not. It's a little bit slower, I think. There's only 2 maps in the beta. The first moon, which is a little bit bigger. There's vehicles, tanks, pikes, and then there's
the Shores of Time on
Yeah.
First
Venus.
time on Venus.
yeah, and that's a very smaller map. The only mode we can play is Domination.
I think it's Dead. Oh, Dead.
Yeah,
Zones.
it's pretty much
Yeah.
Domination though.
Yeah.
I like it. I like the way it's scored. I like how you can get gear into multiplayer and take it back into the single player
Yeah.
or whatever.
Your multiplayer
It's one
character
seamless-
is your single player.
Yeah, it's one seamless thing. The gear you use, everything. The one problem I think, or not a problem, the concern I have is balancing problems. First of all, the vehicles are way too OP, and so I feel that they can knock the power of the vehicles down a little bit, and then up your power against the vehicles. Basically, the vehicles' defense down a little bit to make it a little bit easier, so you can at least stand a fucking chance. And then the other problem I have, or concern I have with balancing is what happens when this guy's really far in the campaign, and he has these fucking super weapons.
Well, but I think
and you don't. Like, I hope there's a good balancing act, so this guy's not dominating.
I think what'll
You know?
happen there is
I believe things get nerfed. I believe things do get nerfed.
I know, yeah, they do get nerfed, but still, this weapon is good.
I think
so
what happens
it's
is
still going to be
when you
powerful
go
whether
to
it's
the
nerfed.
Crucible, like it'll kind of like, okay, you're this level in the game. We're gonna try to match you up with other
Yeah.
people of
That's
around
what
level.
that would solve that problem. That's what I hope.
Yeah.
So what do you guys think of the Crucible multiplayer?
I really, really enjoy it. Like I said, it's so reminiscent of Halo, and I mean, I put so many hours into just the most recent one, Halo 4, that it's. I don't know. I hope it's as fun as Halo. I with Bungie fronting it, I hope they with future things maybe they add with content. Maybe the not so serious kind of things that kind of became almost staples of Halo multiplayer. Like, I'm not saying bring Griffball to Destiny, but I mean, like,
Yeah.
something of that kind of nature where it's like a less
Oh, I'm
serious
sure there'll be something.
nature. But yeah, it's so fun. I mean, I there's not really much else that I could say that Tyler didn't say, but it's just a lot of fun.
I enjoy it. I mean, I'm not great at it. I might go on a tear
Mid-dose.
on occasion, but I'm usually, not that far under, 1.0 KD.
Yeah.
I'm still learning kind of how the multiplayer works. But
Yeah, I can't.
I wish there were
really
other
play more,
modes you
but-
could have tried.
Yeah, I do agree. Like another mode would have been cool. I can't wait to dive deeper into the multiplayer.
Oh yeah,
Well, really,
definitely.
this whole game. Another thing I want to mention: the music is amazing
Yeah.
to this game.
It's
It is
awesome.
absolutely on par with like Halo or Kingdom
Even
Hearts
during
or
the
Elder Scrolls.
45-minute install,
Yeah,
it had music going, and it just sounded amazing.
yeah. It is so good, and it fits every scenario so perfectly. So, props to what's his name, Frankie O'Donnell, I think.
Yeah.
Who composes the music that Bungie
Yeah.
just fucking fired for some reason. I don't know why. I guess what's your impressions? I guess what's one thing that you want to explore more? What's one thing that you haven't really enjoyed as much as you thought you were going to about this game? Or where's a major concern to you?
I have honestly I don't really have any major concerns because it's just the beta. I mean, with the beta, my one major concern is the open worldedness, or it's just when you just go out into a world and explore, there being enough to do besides
Yeah.
just killing enemies.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And then the only other thing but the thing that I really, really want to explore is the raids or strike missions further. I want to do
Definitely.
a lot of those. So
Definitely.
yeah, that's basically it. I mean,
For me, I want to do more of the strike missions. They are absolutely amazing. Just co-op raids, pretty much. And I think the concern I have is with the story. The 5 missions that you get to play really didn't pull me in a whole lot. I mean, it's interesting enough to the point where I would keep going, just
Yeah.
because I want to explore the world. But in terms of just a story, I wanted to pull me in. And I know this is probably a really long story because this is a huge game. So it'll. I'm hoping that it'll be there. That's my problem.
Like Tyler said, I can see some concerns with balancing of multiplayer, especially in terms of gear. Again, same thing with the story. However, the voice acting is incredible.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Like just the cast that they have is just completely out of this world.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to say, it was $500 million well spent, Bungie.
we haven't even seen all of it. We haven't even seen a million of it.
dollars.
Yeah, we've probably only seen a very small fraction of the content in this game.
Bungie has claimed they could probably get this for 10 years.
Yeah.
So.
This could be a 10-year
I
franchise.
am ready to put hundreds of hours into this game, like Skyrim level hours.
That one raid alone is how many hours?
Yeah, that was.
That was like a good hour.
Yeah, that was a good hour there. Final question before we go. Do you think this, and it could change, because one, we haven't played full game, and two, we haven't played a lot of the other games that are coming out this fall, these big games. Do you think this will be Game of the Year?
I'm gonna have to say yes. I mean, if it's basically this on a larger scale, then yes. If it is just this, but higher levels, maybe more missions, more stuff to do, more multiplayer maps, yes. Not a doubt in my mind.
I'm going to play devil's advocate here and say it's not a sure thing to be Game of the Year.
I agree with that.
Because, again, yes, I've been impressed by their use of the horsepower that these new consoles give them in terms of sound, visuals, things like that. But yeah, the story hasn't really fully brought me in yet. This is still a beta. There are some concerns with a few areas. And we haven't seen anything else yet. There's not a whole lot out there for Game of the Year. But this is definitely a very, very strong contender for Game of the Year.
I think this game has to compete with Dragon Age, Inquisition, Far Cry 4, and Evolve for Game of the Year. I think those...
Batman.
That's
Batman's
That's
until
next
next year.
Yeah. So I think those 4 games, any of those 4 games are going to win Game of the Year, I feel. So I just want to play more of it. I have to say. But is this a great game? Is this going to be a great game?
Oh,
This is
yeah,
gonna be
definitely.
absolutely a
It is.
phenomenal game.
So
We might
Yeah.
maybe I don't know if we ever decide to actually start using the Twitch channel, Twitch some of this.
That'd be cool.
That'd be a good
so
idea.
it'd be cool. So we'll have a very probably lengthy, very detailed review of this game when it drops September 9th. If you're playing the beta, let us know how you feel about this game. Let us know your thoughts of this game in general, and just play Destiny and blaze it.
All
Much
right,
blazes.